So let's go ahead and do another one. I'm just going to spin it around here a little bit. Okay. Let's do this one right here. So same thing, repeat. Same old repeat. And this is where you get a little bit of practice doing some masking. So again, I don't want it to sit on there with the tape, so I'm going to fold it under a little bit, just so that there's no tape sticking to my design. Let's tuck this under. Seal it down. Little spray. You can see I forgot I sprayed it on there, but you can see it'll just start soaking into the paper. And with this, once it soaks into the paper, if it touches what you just sprayed, it'll soften it up and start taking it off. So I say try to remember to do it on a towel first. All right, so this one I think I want to do some a Sunburst. All right. Now with a Sunburst, it's really just tape, and the size of the tape is up to you, and I think it kind of depends on the size of the area you're doing. This is fairly big, so I'm just going to use the 1.5" tape. Now, I've said in the past, fine line tape is best for doing designs. However, with custom painting like this, sometimes you just have to use regular tape and paper. But you're putting on such a small amount of paint, a lot of times it doesn't affect the edge quality. So if you're not putting on a lot of paint, this is fine to use. You just don't want a big edge buildup. All right, you just don't want a lot of paint buildup on the edge. All right, so to do this, the way I do it is I pick a corner to start from. So I pick a corner to figure out, where the Sunburst is coming out, and it can be anywhere, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have it come out from this far corner, and I want to start with the bottom of it first. Okay, so I'm picking my corner, and the reason this corner is important is I always want to come back to this corner. Okay, so let me get a pen. All right, so I always want to come back to the same corner, right in the corner. So I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I'm just making a little mark right here on this corner. That is where I'm always going to start from. Okay, now 1.5" tape, and what I'm going to do, my first one, let's see. All right, so what I want to do is with this inside edge, I'm going to put it right on that corner. Okay, right on that corner, just kind of hold it there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an 1.5" gap over here. Okay, so you can pick any spot, it doesn't really matter, right? It's kind of however you want it to be. I'll put it right on the corner where the orange and yellow tape came together, and I'm coming back to that corner. All right, and all I really want to do is push down this one edge, the inside edge. The other one I'm not too concerned with, it's sticking down a lot. Okay, second one, I'm coming back to the same corner right here, and I'm going to match it up right here where it's right next to this one I just put on there. All right, so right here on the edge of my tape is where I just lined it up. Now it's not a perfect spacing as we go around, but it's close enough that you're not going to really see the difference in width. This is just an easy way for me to do it, is I just line it up right with the edge, right? So the next one will line up right here. Cut that off. Let me see if I can bring in a little closer so you can kind of see where I'm at. Right, so right here on this corner, is where I want to keep starting my tape. Okay, so my tape will start there. So let me see. All right, so this is actually one of the ones that people have a lot of trouble with laying out. So let me bring in a little bit closer so you can kind of see where I'm going. All right, so I'm just kind of unmasking here. So corner where I want to start, and I always want to come back to that, and I'm just going to come up here and line it up with my tape, right? Tape, push down this inside edge, move on to your next one, and always start it right here, right on that corner. And then I want to put it right at the edge here where my last piece left off, push it down, and continue on. So you see, I still see that little blue dot where the ink is. That's what I want to see, right there. And again, lining it up right where my tape left off. Sorry if the camera bounces a little bit, my table's moving a little bit. And just keep on working around. Keep coming back to that same corner. Kind of covered up my tape a little bit. That's all right. Okay, and I'll stop right there. So if I put one more on there, it would cover up that whole area, so that's not necessary. This is going to be our first pass right there. All right, so let's see if I can get it up close here while it's in this position. So all I want to do again, gun is set up the same. I'm just going to open up the material just a little bit. Okay, and all I want to do is just follow the edge of the tape line, putting most of the paint on the tape itself. All right, so let's see if I can get in here, get a good angle. I'm trying to get a good angle right there. So again, my fan is all the way to the right, so it's all the way closed. Let's see, my material is open about a quarter of a turn, a little over a quarter of a turn right there. And get used to the gun before you start spraying, right? And again, you make it as thick or as thin or as dark or as light as you want it to, whatever your look is. All right, so once you get one on there that you like, try to keep it as even as possible. You're gonna come in, you're gonna peel that one off. Okay, again, be careful you don't peel off everything around it. And repeat. All right, so I'm just putting very little amounts on at a time. I don't want to put it all on at once, because when you run into trouble, so you want to build up the color slowly, and I'm just putting very small amounts on there. But what I'm trying to do is keep them even, so they're all the same size, same amount of overspray. Looked like the tape was peeling up. Trying to do it so I don't get in the way of the camera, but still be able to do a decent job. So this is where practice comes in, right? Like you wouldn't want to mess up at this point, right? And have to wipe down your panel, start all over again. So practice as much as you can, and you only do your panel once you feel comfortable. Now you see I just made a little mistake. It just kind of bumped out a little bit there. So what I want to do is, you can see my line just kind of jumps out. I want to bring this out a little bit and then bring this out a little bit to even it so I don't see it. So there's little things you can fix. And most of the time nobody's going to see it except for you. You're the only one that's going to know the problems. And again, I'm trying to spray straight up and down so I don't overspray too far out into the panel. Nice and even. So fairly simple, but you do have to be careful. So you can see this one's going to have a nice contrast between dark and light. If you were to have it fill up most of that, it's just going to all look dark. Okay, so we want to make sure we have light and dark. And it looked, so here's what happened is one of the orange tape peeled up. All right, so I want to make sure I can get that back down. And I'm just going to come along this orange line and put in my last little sun ray right there. All right, we're looking pretty decent. All right, so there's your sunburst. All right, fairly simple. Like all these are fairly simple. It's just taking the time to learn the technique and practicing a lot. All right, so that one looks good. We'll let it sit for a minute and then we'll work on the last one.